Somebody's a liar, and I know it. I get so mad.
Like I think that whole I'm leaving and the half crying thing, that was all just like the act. You know, it's just like James Brown. James Brown, he gets to a certain point, and then he just kind of buckles down, and then you got all these dudes coming out in their Masonic gear. They start putting a blanket on him, like a safety blanket. And then you know, he takes about 2 or 3 steps, and then he just pops out of it like he's all back in the game and he's all ready again. And it's the same fucking thing.
I know.
Well, Warren was in an interview, and there's this chick, Molly Tibbetts, who got kidnapped by supposedly there's this chick who existed named Molly Tibbetts that got...
Who is Warren?
Abducted by she got abducted by an illegal immigrant and murdered.
Oh, it's one of those, like, divide and conquer stories?
Yeah. Okay. And Liz Warren, she got asked about it, and she tried to just change it around. She's like, oh, it's really sad for the families. But, we really need a comprehensive immigration plan.
Oh, my goodness. This is why I can't watch this stuff. It upsets me. Disgusts me. It's so...
Sure. Well, it should. It should too.
Does.
I think it should to an extent. I think if it doesn't upset you, there might be something wrong with you.
I think you're right.
And the other side to it, because what was Elizabeth Warren? She had this big, it's like her big rally cry. It was like the game. It's all a game that's stacked against you, or something like that. Or it's what was it? The game is rigged.
Oh, my goodness.
Say about,
I've been saying that since in 2014. I've been saying that it's rigged.
Yeah, but she's been saying it, but she almost says it like it's a taunt. You think she's saying it like, oh, the game's rigged, like she's trying to give us a heads up. But the way she says it is like, hey, the game's rigged, like, she's running the game or something. Like, hey, it's gonna stay this way because I'm making some dough. And by the way, you look at that woman's her net income worth. If you look at her worth, I mean, she's worth tens of millions of dollars.
I have no idea who this person is.
Elizabeth Warren?
I'm sorry. I'm surprisingly uninformed. Okay. Really, I hate the news. I absolutely hate the news.
She's the Democrats' great white hope.
Oh, okay. I mean, I have heard the name. That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I think she's one of these ladies who came through, and she reminds me of every lady from Connecticut, where they're just like, oh, I'm such a worldly, wonderful woman.
Yes. But
then you start to look into them, and they're just these fucking crazy, fucked up idiots.
Yep. We have those here.
Let me just look this up real quick, because now it's gonna bug
me. Please inform me. Fill in the gaps, please.
You ready?
I am ready. I'm ready. Tell me. Inform me.
Right. And I thought about that because I have a humongous VHS collection.
Mm-hmm.
I love VHS tapes.
Okay.
There's VHS tapes. There's movies out there that you cannot get on DVD.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The only way you could get them is on VHS. Like you want to talk about, like I'll give you one in general, and you'll look it up, and if you really look into it, you'll never find a actual director's cut of this movie on a DVD. But it's one of the greatest movies ever made.
I'm all ears. What?
It's called Underground.
Okay.
94.
Oh, it just cut out.
So it was released
all I heard is 94. Which is 12, which is 3. It's kind of a devil number.
Eastern Europe in 93, and then it made its way over to the United States after it won a whole bunch of Palme d'Ors at Cannes and all these other places.
These are all devil numbers. You know that, right?
It made it to the States in 94.
All right.
Absolutely. And I mean, I've watched a lot of movies, like movie buff, and absolutely, this is one of the greatest films ever made, I think.
Underground.
and a lot of it is based around true events. This is based on a true story, and then some of the things that they do in this movie, I don't even know, because I swear they had to kill like actual animals to shoot some of these scenes, but I don't think they did. That's how good they did it. That's how good they had these animals trained. But there's all these other things that go on, and like, it's just, the movie is just epic. It just goes on and on and on. Like, if you want to sit down for 3 hours and just see some life-changing movie, that's the one to watch.
Okay.
But that you can only get on VHS.
Okay.
And so with a lot of it, so I have all these VHSs I'm thinking about. I watched some of them. I'm just like, oh man, this guy's got to be a kid diddler. Like, look at these chimos. And
oh my goodness.
I think when it all is said and done, and when people start realizing like what's going down, and like when all these people start getting outed and stuff like that, I'm probably not going to throw this collection away. I'm going to save it more like maybe preserve it like it's the library of shame.
Oh my goodness. You know, I love where you go.
Well, it's just interesting because once again, there's a certain sensitization going on, and you know, these people probably think that, you know, if you look at the Google search on me, there is for instance, of when I was a kid where I got jumped by a bunch of dudes, and if anyone looks into it further, that wasn't the first time. I've been jumped multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to aggression like that, I take notice.
Of course. Fair enough. Message received. I understand.
You know, I think on top of that, and actually this is even more ridiculous because I started writing down like the whole list of all the people that I saw at that party, and just sitting there with this shopping list of all these fucking people, and just like, how the fuck did any? Like, I don't, you know, like, not for nothing, but you know, if it was like a couple of those people, I could be like, yeah, you know what, I could believe that, but it's just like, man, you know, they just threw this at me. Like, how did I land at this party where there were all these people? Like, there must have been something super significant about that night.
I agree with you very much so.
There's just something like, and it's something that I'm just not seeing.
It's your destiny. This is your destiny.
There's something there, though.
It's,
you're that I need to, like, remember, but I just can't. Can't do it. And, you know, I was thinking about my whole demeanor at that party because I knew I shouldn't have been there. Like, they all gave me looks like, hey, who are you? You know, like,
right.
What the fuck is this guy doing here?
Right.
And, you know, that's for the most part, I was hanging out in the kitchen, or I was in the living room, or I was, you know, I wasn't going to the back bedrooms. I used the bathroom twice, probably. I mean,
okay.
And that was as close to the back bedrooms as I really got, except for just kind of a couple peeks. But, you know, like hanging out on the back porch smoking cigarettes. Like, I spent most of that party just trying to, like, not really be around anyone, but in effect, it was like everyone there was just like, hey, who's this? And it's like, how do you figure out who someone is? Well, you introduce yourself. So, like, this is why all these people talk to me.
Right.
Because they didn't know who I was or what I was doing there. Like, something bugged them out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough for them to be like, hey, you gotta go.
Right. Well, because that would have made them look guilty. That's why they
set off some of the other girls there, like, "Hey, what's up with that?"
Right,
like,
totally.
They had to play it cool. That's
had to play cool.
I got to stay there.
You had to play cool, absolutely.
And then the other side of that, and it's like I said, you know, it's like you got both of those Bronfman sisters was there, but how come just one of them got arrested?
That's a good question.
The other one is on the run. You look deep into it, and this is why these people are in the just some heavy shit. This is why people are these guys are in you know, this S&M dominatrix. They're all into all kinds of kinky stuff. They're in the crazy stuff.
Yes.
You know, Anthony Weiner, you start to look at the court docket, and you just, oh my God, this guy was a maniac.
Yes.
But that's the only way they could feel anything.
Yes.
Because they don't have a soul.
Yeah, we are getting that sense.
So when you see it in their eyes, you could look at someone, you see that like gray demeanor. It's almost like they just lost their life force or something. But that kind of glazed look, you could see it.
I know. I agree with you.
And you can tell that there's not. You could tell that they're not in control. There's something else in control.
I totally agree with you. I sense the same things. We're really beholding something that's beyond this world.
Yeah, this Elizabeth Warren making $15 million in 6 years as a senator that doesn't sound good to me.
No.
That sounds shady as hell.
It does. I read an article about all the slavery going on in Washington, D.C. They just have slaves, in the richest part of Washington.
Frank was about to take the whole empire down at one point because they were threatening him with jail because he had all these underage boys at he was running some little thing. This is Barney Frank's out of Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, you listen to this politician, he's openly gay, he's all this other stuff, and he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then when they start pressuring him, they caught him with these boys, he basically came forward and he made a speech and he essentially said, hey, if you want to take me down,
right,
you were taking down everybody.
Exactly, and that's why it stays intact.
And that's why he's not, because I'm surprised they didn't kill the guy. But I mean, the guy, he's got parameters set up to where probably if anyone does mess with him,
I got it.
The whole kingdom in the clouds comes crashing down.
Probably. You really do get the sense it's all blackmail.
Well, I think, and then you look at Seattle recently too, and I think that our former mayor had the whole same thing going on.
Okay.
Okay, so this guy, it was found out that he like when he was a lot younger, it's like years and years back, he had all these young boys that were living with him. He had like foster kids living with him and stuff. He was a foster parent.
Wow.
He was addicting these boys to drugs and then getting sexual favors from them for, hey, you want some more cocaine? You got to do this or that.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was this whole crazy thing. I'm trying to remember. Ed Murray was his name. Ed Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And so this guy, he's all these one abuser comes out and he's just like he starts saying all this stuff. And he was actually using his role, his position and power to try to make this guy look bad.
The mayor?
Okay. Yeah, the mayor was using his power. He was saying all this, trying to use his power to basically discredit this man.
Was this a whistleblower?
Okay, and so now all of a sudden, another guy comes forward.
Okay, let me let you go.
The guy comes forward.
All right. Okay, I'm back. Dogs are out of here. Okay.
So there's one guy who comes forward. The last guy who comes forward was actually his cousin.
You mean, let me just catch up with what you're saying. So there's a whistleblower that was discredited by the mayor of Seattle, and then his cousin came forward accusing him also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Along with another accuser as well. So you have these different accusers, and one of them is his own cousin. Okay.
So what happened?
And so he ends up Seattle, the whole city of Seattle, being what it is.
Okay.
A lot of liberals in this city. There's a lot of people who are just all they want to do is run around and paint rainbow crosswalks everywhere, while the homeless problem goes out of control, bonkers.
Okay.
You have all these cops, these mid-level cops, all quitting because they don't know what to do anymore.
Okay.
They'll join in security crews, but. You have Ed. So he's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to step down because all this stuff is just too much for me. I can't be a mayor with all these people coming forward,
right,
accusing me of all this stuff. And so he played it down, and everyone just gave him all the utmost respect and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he stood there in West Seattle, right on Alki Beach, and just kind of was like, okay, I'm done, and and that was it.
Right.
And so all of a sudden he gets taken to court.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow the accuser is able to also sue the city of Seattle because Ed Murray was using his political power to try to demean and try to take the piss out of this guy, pretty much.
Right.
And so he sues the city of Seattle, and something happened. Some little thing happened along the way where the city of Seattle's like, okay, you know what? We're going to settle this all, and we're going to pay all the bills. And they pay Ed Murray's, they pay all his legal fees.
This is the victim or the mayor?
Ed Murray was the mayor.
Oh, so they helped the mayor out.
He was molesting all these kids, and the city of Seattle paid for all of his legal fees.
Wow.
Now, what happened here, and this is what nobody's thinking about, but for that kind of stuff to happen, he had to have had a couple of meetings on the side with maybe Seattle attorney and a couple other honchos in Seattle that were, still holding up reins. And he probably said, hey, if I go down, you are all going down. And this is what's going to happen. You're going to pay my legal bills. You're going to do this and that, and we're going to make sure that I never see a day in jail.
Yeah.
And this is how it is. And so the guy who was accusing him, the first guy, they did that case. He wins. So he wins all this money.
The victim.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wins all this money.
Okay.
A couple months later, he's dead. He dies in a hotel room.
Oh.
Okay, and everyone's like, oh, well, he had all that money and he was a junkie. Yeah, but his lawyer set up a trust fund for him. That guy didn't have access to any of that money. They killed that guy. And I was speaking out on it because I had a Facebook page. I had spoke out on it, because I've had 13 Facebook pages. They've all been taken. I spoke out about it for a little bit. And that's when some weird things started happening, and I was like, maybe I stepped on some feet there.
Yeah.
And it seems like the more and more I go, I'm like, well, I've already stepped on that guy's feet. I might, I might as well keep going.
Exactly.
So I'll go, let's troll the Pope for a second and tell him why he's a piece of shit. Or let's do this. Let's call up. Go on George W. Bush's site and tell him what a piece of shit he is. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I know.
And it just a snowball from there. And so me going in and being like, hey, I'm gonna just study into all this Nexium stuff, and then watching that stupid show Smallville, and then being like, wait a minute, I was immersed in all this from the get-go. Like, I met all these assholes, and just that alone is just like, okay, well, I can't shut up about this. I've been vocal about all this other stuff.
Right.
I got to keep going with it.
I know.
And
I know you do.
I can't stress to you enough the absurdity of it is that, a lot of people that know you, like people, they're like, we believe you, okay? But it's just kind of like, yeah, we believe that you think you saw something kind of thing. But
okay, well, I get that too. That's what I get. We believe that you believe this.
People start to wrap their brains around what I actually saw that night at the party that I was actually at.
Well, I believe you. I really do believe you.
It all.
I just want you to know I do believe you.
They're going to start to understand that there's probably a couple people out there that have their eye on me.
Yeah. I think so,
and not in the best light, not in a good way.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing right now.
Okay.
One of the main guys right now does not like me, and I swear to you.
I'm listening.
This is the one guy that I'm just like, I know somehow I'm going to run into this guy. I don't know. Michael Avenatti.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And even I remember because at the party we had, like I said, he looked like a lacrosse player at a funeral.
Yes.
He just had that really cut face, really hard, edgy look. Where he's just like, yeah, I'm a hard motherfucker, but he's in a suit as well, so it just kind of nullifies it. But
okay.
He he talked about, and I think he had offices in Waterbury or something like that. I think that's what he told me was he had an office in Waterbury and overlooked there's a clock tower there. I think it's like a Timex or a Casio. I think it's a Timex tower or something like that. And that was his view from his office.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, if anything, that means, he probably had a lot of meals at the home country buffet and probably ate at the Chili's a lot. Maybe had a couple drinks there, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know that area a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
But, it's right near the mall, the new mall they had built, which became, Waterbury is a terrible little city. There's a lot of crime that goes on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think when they were building that mall, something like 20 people were murdered or something. Some ridiculous number that I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. But
Wait, people were murdered in the construction of the Waterbury Mall?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a organized crime thing.
They built it in a bad neighborhood, and so you have these poor construction workers, and then all these gangsters rolling around.
Uh-huh.
And there was just major problems. There was major problems that would occur.
Did you notice that Connecticut has a lot of like Greenwich, Norwich kind of sounding names?
Essex, yeah.
There's like a witchy, like English witchy, kind of Nordic witchy kind of thing in Connecticut.
Sure.
It's something I'm sort of picking up on.
Connecticut has a lot of very, very old evil.
So you're saying they used
There's something like 200 different locations in Connecticut that are in direct reference to the devil's name.
I gotta tell you, I keep picking up on this Connecticut, like Nordic, I don't know what to call it, gringo Satanism, I'm Latino, as you know. Latinos have their own Satanism, as you know. I think that's something. I do come from Latino people, so I do think that I come from a lineage of dark stuff like that, which I'm obviously not proud about. But the more I learn about this sort of gringo Satanism in Connecticut, I can tell it's there. What am I trying? Like Druidic tradition, how do you say it? The Druidic tradition seems to be alive and well in Connecticut.
Right.